Hey.
Alright y'all, I just wrapped up watching through the preseason action between the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors from Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night. Great game overall. It actually has gotten me really excited, at least more excited than I previously was for the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, expectations are not extremely high for this team as they have finally committed to a slight rebuild after trading away guys like Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby last season. But this new iteration of the team, led by second-year head coach Darko Rajakovic, they just want to play with pace, they want to get out and run, they want to play physical on defense, and that has all the makings of a really fun, exciting young team. Now again, it's likely that the Raptors don't even make the playoffs. They'll probably be a play-in team. But regardless, there are still a lot of really fun young players on this team. Obviously, from the title of the video, the main one I want to talk about is second-year player Grady Dick. In this game alone, he scored a pretty effortless 27 points. And the best part about this game, at least in my opinion, was the fact that he did it without having to have the ball in his hands. It was a lot of off-ball movement leading to catch-and-shoot opportunities, backdoor cuts, running out in transition, all of those great things that make up a really solid role player. Because the obvious, positives of Grady Dick and the things that I think most people know about him at this point is that he is an excellent shooter. He was a great shooting prospect when he was in the draft. So obviously teams have to respect his ability to get open and shoot the ball. So I love to see that he is now adding a lot of backdoor cuts to his game, especially in this Toronto Raptors offense where the ball is moving a lot more. There's a lot of dribble handoffs, pick and rolls, swinging the ball, which leads to a lot of great opportunities for Grady Dick to do things like this, where he's just simple backdoor cuts, catches the defense sleeping. Jakob Poeltl is an amazing passer out of that high post area. And I loved this little lob attempt that he threw to Grady Dick, which he converted into a really tough layup. Regardless, it's a really good sign to see Grady Dick already at this point in his career putting an emphasis on these backdoor cuts and getting to the rim and finishing through traffic. Because if he continues to do that, it's only going to help open up his shooting lanes even more. And again, as I've already said, he is a tremendous off-ball mover, and it seems like head coach Rajakovic is going to draw up plays for him. Had this one absolutely beautiful set with a whole bunch of moving pieces that ended with a late handoff to Grady Dick for a catch-and-shoot 3 opportunity. Dick was even showing the ability to potentially be a 3-level scorer down the line. He had a couple of really nice pull-up middies. So one thing I would love to see him work on for the future is just continuing to put the ball on the ground and get buckets out of the pull-up game. I'm not saying he has to become some sort of, Paul George level ISO scorer, but it would be interesting to see if he can add a dribble drive game to his repertoire, because again, that will just help him expand his game even more. And then the big question that remains about Grady Dick, at least my personal big question, I imagine a lot of people probably are wondering the same thing, but what about the defensive side of the ball? Because obviously, let's just face it, Dick is a, smaller sized guard. He's white, he's a shooter archetype. Most people would probably think that he is not great on defense or that he can be picked on. But he's shown, I would say, the opposite, because he's not exactly a lockdown defender. But he shows enough that he is good enough on the defensive side of the court that he is not useless, he can't be picked on. He actually moves pretty well on that end of the court, has some nice IQ, he knows where to be, he knows where to help. He had a couple of plays in this game where he just showed really good activity on the defensive side of the ball to help force Boston into some tough spots. He even had one play where he just straight up cookied Derek White at the point of attack beyond the arc, and it led to a really easy layup in transition. And then he had another play where he jumped the passing lane and again got a steal, got out in transition. Unfortunately didn't finish the play, but regardless, these are all very positive things from a defensive standpoint. Him just being active, playing solid perimeter defense, getting his hands into passing lanes. All of these things will help add up to making him a plus defender and someone that can stay on the court. So all in all, when it comes to Grady Dick, his rookie season, it wasn't anything crazy. It took him a pretty deep into the season to actually get on the court consistently, especially after a lot of injuries that the Raptors had. But he did have a pretty strong finish to the season. And now, as we look ahead to this upcoming season, it seems like for the Raptors, the starting spots that are on lock are very much Immanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes, who I will talk about in a second, and you have RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl. But that fifth spot is very wide open. They could go with the veteran Bruce Brown option, although I think they'd like to keep him on the bench as that's just kind of always been his role. So then that kind of leaves a three-way battle between Davion Mitchell, Ochai Agbaji, who I'll also talk about in a second, and Grady Dick. And, just based off of what's been happening in the preseason so far, I would expect the Raptors to lean towards Dick, because while I certainly think that Davion Mitchell and Ochai Agbaji are the better defenders out of that group, I just think that Grady Dick offers so much more offensively and is just a better fit around guys like Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, and even RJ Barrett to some extent. So I hope that he captures that starting job. It seems like the Raptors are heading towards that direction, and I'm just overall really excited to see what we get in year 2, and I hope that more people start to catch on and pay attention to him as a legit NBA player. Now, some other side notes I have from this game before I wrap up. Scotty Barnes looks incredible. He was amazing on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what he did this offseason, but he came out so aggressively, putting up a ton of shots and was knocking down a ton of shots. Made a whole bunch of threes, which obviously is probably just an outlier game overall, but it's still nice to see that he is willing to pull up from beyond the arc, whether in transition, in the half-court set, and he just looks extremely comfortable, way more comfortable than in previous seasons. And much like Grady Dick, he also had a bunch of pull-up middies to, again, show off that 3-level scoring potential, which is something that we haven't really seen from Scotty Barnes in the past, which, again, very similar to Grady Dick, can help unlock a whole bunch of more things for him offensively. And then Ochai Agbaji, even though I just gave my praise to Grady Dick and I hope that he gets the starting spot, Agbaji was another great pickup last season for the Raptors coming over from the Utah Jazz. He was playing some extremely good defense against the Boston Celtics in this game, was getting some really nice pressure above the three-point line at the point of attack area, was doing a good job of driving to the rim, cutting to the rim. The jump shot is still kind of shaky, but hopefully he can get back to where he was when he first came into the league, because I don't know about y'all, but I remember Agbaji when he got drafted, it was like, oh, this guy is a sharpshooter and potential 3-and-D kind of guy, whereas now I feel like he's shifted more of a defense first, potentially could be a 3-and-D if the shot starts falling again. Regardless, I actually really like this Raptors team overall. Again, I've always been a big Scotty Barnes guy. I've been a big fan of Immanuel Quickley, especially when he was in New York coming off the bench. He got snubbed on that 6th Man of the Year award, even though my Celtic boy Malcolm Brogdon took it home. Bruce Brown is always a solid player. Jakob Poeltl does not ever get enough credit for how solid he is as a rebounder, defender, and passer at that center position. I've always been a Scotty Barnes believer, and currently, with his age 23 season, it seems like he is ready to take another leap forward. We already talked about Grady Dick, obviously, Ochai Agbaji, even Davion Mitchell. He was that third guy in the group I was talking about. He looks really solid on the defensive side of the ball. Excited to see what he's able to do in that backup point guard spot. So yeah, again, there are no expectations for this team, which usually leads to more fun seasons in terms of entertainment and just overall fan enjoyment of the team. So Raptors fans, I think y'all are in for a good year. It should be fun. It should be exciting. Maybe y'all can sneak into the playoffs and give one of these elite teams in the East a solid playoff series in the first round. That'd be fun. If not though, y'all are rebuilding. You have your cornerstone piece in Scotty Barnes. You have other potential pieces that could be here long term with guys like IQ, Grady Dick. It should just be a fun season. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. As always, if you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of those good things, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.